The Paranormal Liberation Front was planning on attacking and taking over Japan with Shigaraki as their leader. Hawks, who is the number 2 hero, went undercover to get more intel. Gene was dumb and gullible, so Hawks used him to get information on the Paranormal Liberation Front and send it back to the heroes. Learning about the villains' plans, the heroes decide to attack first. They plan to attack the Paranormal Liberation Front base and also the hospital where the All-for-One's doctor was working. Endeavor and his team attack the hospital and find the doctor. However, it turns out it was just a clone. It is also revealed that the doctor has a quirk that allows him to not age. They all get jumped by a group of Noma while the doctor tries to get his work and leave. Mirko decided she will go ahead into the doctor's lab. The doctor saw Mirko and started to piss his pants.
I am currently wetting my pants.
However, before Mirko could get him, she gets attacked by the Nomus. The number 6 hero, Crust, tries to support Mirko. Wait, seriously? This guy is number 6? The heroes are screwed. The doctor escapes while the Crust and Mirko struggle with the Nomu. She manages to kill a few of them, but one of her arms got broken in the process. The other team of heroes proceeded to attack the Paranormal Liberation Front base, which started an all-out war between the heroes and villains. While the heroes are attacking, some of the villains are hiding underground and are starting to panic because they are surrounded by heroes. Hawks then captures Gene and tries to keep him in check because Gene has the ability to make thousands of clones, which would make the heroes lose the war. Gene was confused because he thought Hawks was his friend. Twice starts to remember all his failures in life and decides that he has to help his friends. Hawks told him to stay down, but he didn't listen and tried to escape. While fighting Twice, Dabi shows up and tries to stop Hawks. However, Hawks was able to outsmart him and kill Twice. Another group of heroes go inside the base to capture the heroes underground. Underground, they see Gigantomachia, but he is sleeping and won't move without All-for-One's order. Dabi finally captures Hawks and starts to burn him while giving a long, boring villain speech. At the hospital, the other heroes finally get into the lab and try to support Mirko. She manages to crack the glass on the capsule with Shigaraki, however she gets seriously injured by the Nomus. Mike delivers the final blow and destroys the capsule completely. Mike grabs the doctor and starts to run away with him, but the doctor explains that All-for-One transferred his original quirk to Shigaraki. Some electricity manages to shock Shigaraki, which wakes him up. He wakes up looking like a crackhead and kills the random hero who was guarding him. At the base, Tsukuyumi sees Dabi's flames and decides to go help Hawks. 2 episodes later and Dabi is still giving his speech. Tsukuyumi grabs Hawks and jumps over the railing, however Dabi follows him. Dabi was about to attack, but he was stopped by a giant block of ice which knocked over Mount Lady. Meanwhile, Fagum gets to live every man's dream, getting crushed by a giant pair of cheeks.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Tsukuyumi manages to escape and take Hawks to get some medical treatment. Gigantomachia smells Shigaraki's scent and stands up. Gigantomachia is only loyal to All-for-One, but since All-for-One transferred his power to Shigaraki, he now has All-for-One's scent. UA students are in charge of evacuating the citizens, but then Deka gets a weird feeling, and the original owner of One for All tells Deka that he must stop him. Shigaraki destroys the entire hospital and the area nearby just by touching the ground. Like seriously, how are the heroes supposed to defeat this guy? The heroes try to escape, but some of them died. Shigaraki picks up one of the quirk-destroying bullets, but All-for-One's voice in his head tells him to go after One for All. He picks up the radio and calls Gigantomachia. Endeavor attacks Shigaraki, but his attacks fail due to Shigaraki's insane strength and healing ability. Shigaraki asks Endeavor for One for All, but everyone on the comms heard it. Deka hears it and decides to run away and keep his distance from everyone. Bakugo also notices what's going on and follows Deku. Shigaraki uses Ragdoll's quirk, Search, to look for Deku. Bakugo explains that Deka can consistently use his power at 20%, but can go up to 45% at the point of impact to avoid injury. Shigaraki uses one of his quirks to destroy the comms that the heroes are using to communicate. Shigaraki catches up with Deku, but Gran Torino grabs him and runs away while the other heroes fight Shigaraki. Shigaraki tries to use his quirk, but Aizawa uses his quirk to stop Shigaraki's power. Even though Shigaraki's powers are blocked, his physical strength and endurance is still insane, so the heroes struggle to stop him. More heroes try to join the fight, but they get attacked by Nomus. Shigaraki has complete control over his quirk, so he can pick and choose what he wants to destroy, which is why the Nomus survived. Shigaraki tries to kill Aizawa, but Deka stops him. They continue to fight Shigaraki, but they fail to stop him. Gigantomachia grabs Dabi and the others and starts to run towards Shigaraki. Mount Lady tries to stop him, but she gets tossed aside like garbage. Midnight tries to get close to his face, but Mr. Compress hits her with some giant rocks. While injured on the ground, Midnight calls Yayorozu and tells her to make a tranquilizer and give it to Gigantomachia. The students come up with a plan to trap Machia and give him the tranquilizer, however he was too strong and their plan failed. Kirishima was able to throw one of the tranquilizers into his mouth, but that still wasn't enough to stop Machia. Gran Torino remembers when Shimura was telling him that she had a son, but she gave him away, so All for One wouldn't be able to use him against her. Shigaraki takes down Gran Torino and goes after Aizawa, but he is stopped by Ryuko and Deku. He uses One for All at 100%, but Shigaraki stops his hands with his teeth. I don't know what kind of toothpaste he uses, but I wish I had a relationship as strong as those teeth. Shigaraki shoves his hand through Ryuko's hand and shoots the bullet at Aizawa. The bullet hit him in the leg, but he cut it off immediately. Shigaraki jumps at Aizawa and manages to touch his face, but Deku and Shoto stop him before he could kill Aizawa. Aizawa becomes unconscious, so Shigaraki tries to use his quirk, but he fails because he received too much damage and his body can't heal itself. He tries to use his quirk again, but Deku activates Float and picks up everyone. He then decides to put everyone down and continues to attack Shigaraki in the air. Bakugo knows that Deku can't defeat Shigaraki since his body can't handle his quirk, so he comes up with a plan to let Endeavor stop Shigaraki. Endeavor burns Shigaraki and was about to kill him, but then All for One takes control and stabs Endeavor. He tries to stab Deku, but Bakugo pushes him out of the way and gets stabbed instead. Deku starts to rage and goes after Shigaraki, but he grabs Deku and tries to take his power. Deku and Shigaraki meet in the world where One for All is. Shimura meets Shigaraki and says that he is her grandson, but he said that he hates her. All for One tries to take One for All, but all the One for All users comes out and stops him. All for One tells Shigaraki to retreat and fully heal, then try again another time. While doing evacuation, Toga attacks Uraraka. As usual, she was being creepy and weird, then she tells Uraraka that they both have a crush on Deku. Froppy joins the fight, but then she runs away. Before the heroes could stop Shigaraki, Machia finally shows up and saves him. Machia asked Shigaraki for orders, but he was unconscious. Dabi, who was on Machia, shows himself and tells everyone that he is Toya, Endeavor's son. Endeavor was too stunned to speak. Dabi starts to broadcast a video telling the whole world the truth and also that Hawks killed Genist. In order to surpass All Might, Endeavor married a woman with ice quirk, hoping to get a child with both ice and fire powers. Toya was their first child. Endeavor started to train him, and he realized that Toya was even more powerful than him, but unfortunately he had his mother's ice skin, which meant his body was weak against flames, and he hurt himself by using his powers. Endeavor told him to stop training, but Toya didn't listen because he wanted to impress his father. One day, while training on a mountain, Toya accidentally lit the mountain on fire and everyone thought he died, but he was saved by someone who took him and healed him. Eventually he went back home but saw Endeavor with Shoto, and he thought he was replaced, so he decided to not go home but instead try to ruin Endeavor's life. They try to wake up Shigaraki so he can give Machia the order to retreat, but he wasn't waking up. Dabi tries to attack Endeavor, but Best Genius joins the fight and captures everyone including Machia. He explained that Dabi told Hawks to kill him, but they faked his death. Dabi escapes and starts to fight with Shoto. Some Noma try to help the villains, but Mirio joins the fight after Eri gives him back his power. Machia manages to escape, but then Endeavor punches him and Machia falls to the ground unable to move. It turns out the tranquilizer that Kirishima gave him has finally started to work. Mr. Compress frees himself, but Genius tries to trap him with his clothes. Compress destroyed pieces of his body to escape Genius' power. Deku activates another quirk called Spider Sense, Danger Sense, which lets him know when someone is about to attack. Compress was able to free everyone and they woke up Shigaraki. However, All for One was the one controlling his body, and he used his powers to call the Nomius and retreat. The heroes tried to stop him, but they failed. And with that, the war was now over, at least for now. This is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe for more videos.